Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Patrick here with the Northwoods Nobodies. Today we're going to take a look at this 10.5 Palmetto State Armory kit. Firearm you see in front of you is my Palmetto State Armory 10.5 kit. I put together early 2019, mid-December of 2018. I was joking with the other half that I was done buying guns for the year, and then my buddy Scott was like, hey, you should buy this kit, it's on sale. So I did, and I put it together, or he and I put it together, and it's been an awesome little kit that I've enjoyed, and little 10.5 AR has been a lot of fun. Knowing what we know now about firearms, 10.5 maybe isn't the best one to start with for length. It seems like 11.5 maybe kind of the sweet spot in the shorter firearms, but 10.5's been fun. So we'll go over the build kit, and then I'll talk about my experiences and my usual stuff with it. So as always, we're gonna go tip to butt. Give that a spank right there. And starting out up front, it does have a typical A2 flash hider, what you expect to see on basically every factory AR. I have not changed it out on here. I have never run a silencer on this gun. I've just left it how it is and shot it how it is. We're probably around 2,500 rounds through it. I know. 2,500 rounds in like 5-6 years isn't great, but I have a healthy firearms collection, so I tend to shoot a lot of guns in my group, in my collection, and all my buddies' guns. So I don't always focus in and just shoot my guns to their limits. Maybe not the best thing in the world. If I could rewind myself 10, 15 years ago and maybe say, hey, just buy a couple of guns and really work and train with those ones, maybe I'd tell myself that. Can't change it now, so I have a handful of guns. They're a good collection there, and I've shoot them all. And this one is probably my most shot AR, next to maybe my Mark 12. I really like this gun overall, and it's kind of what started my addiction to buying short barrels and all that stuff, and building different guns and different setups, and kind of understanding ballistics more and more. This is the catalyst of all that. So I love you, Scott. You're also kind of an asshole for making me spend the money that I have. So yeah, typical A2 flash hider on the front here. The barrel in it, like I said before, is 10.5 inches. It is a 1-in-7 twist. It does have a fixed front sight post here that is a part of the carbine length gas system. When I bought this kit, it did not come with the Magpul handguard up front. It just had a classic oval flat dagger with handguard. Maybe a year into ownership, I changed it to this one because I wanted the ability to have M-lock slots, which it has, you know, kind of 2 o'clock-ish here, 6, and then, 10 o'clock on the other side. On the other side, I do have a BCM quick disconnect mount for a sling. These are what I run on most of my ARs. I like that setup quite a bit. And the barrel and everything has been really good on this so far. Like I said, about 2,500 rounds in. Most of us have probably seen the most recent Grantham video where they do that kind of burn down, in a sense, on that Palmetto State Armory Freedom Kit. And I thought it was a very informative video. I watched the entire thing. I really liked it. I really liked when Asian Phil came on and his autistic science nerdy side went in there and really explained dimensions and specs and that kind of stuff, and I really enjoyed that part of the video. So if you haven't seen it, definitely check that out. If you don't watch the full hour, go find Asian Phil and let his nerdiness come out and tell you basically how to better understand the gas system and the BCGs and all that stuff on these things. I thought it was very informative, very nice. Moving back to the upper, you can see I have a Vortex Crossfire 2. I'll put the review of this up here. It's an older review, so you'll have to forgive us for the quality, the awkwardness, all that stuff that was on there, because that was like video 4 or 5 on the channel, so it's pretty old, and things were different back then. So we've got much better, quality has improved, all that stuff. So check it out if you want. Otherwise, maybe we'll do an updated one here in the future. But about $150 optic. It's been very good to me. I have not had any issues with it. I believe I have shot this out to 200 yards, and it's been no issues there. I do have backup iron sights on it. This is the Magpul, I believe, M-Bus 2, which obviously lines up with your fixed front sight post. And this has been a very good backup, and I've also used it just for shooting sometimes as well. So that's been very nice, very straightforward, very basic. Typical upper you see, forward assist, brass deflector, obviously dust cover, mil-spec charging handle, nothing crazy, nothing fancy there. The bolt carrier group in it is still the Palmetto State Armory one that it came with. It's all been good. I have no complaints there. With the kit, which real quick pricing on the kit, if you buy the kit as it comes originally, and we'll go over that in a moment here, I'll put a little picture up of it, it's $300. This kit that you see here is roughly $470 off Palmetto State Armory's website. when I bought it in the end of 2018, the base kit, that's like I said, the picture I'm going to show you, was $270. This is why I bought it, because it was such a good steal of a deal, I thought, at the time. And then I proceeded to go through and change half the components on this thing, so it's no longer such a good deal, but at least got me the base rifle and got things moving. So yeah, moving down, typical Palmetto State Armory lower. You do have to order that separately. It does not come with this kit. I think they're like 40 or 50 bucks. Their lowers are pretty reasonably priced. Obviously transfer fees and that kind of stuff. And then you have to assemble it, which lowers aren't terrible to assemble. I've done probably close to 20 myself. They're really not bad. I enjoy putting them together. Typical, you know, AR controls, safety, bolt catch, mag release, all the usual stuff there. I do have this, I believe it's from Rhino. Yeah, Rhino like magwell grip thing, which isn't bad. I like it, you know. I don't always shoot here. Sometimes I want to shoot back here. It does help with new shooters. They tend to put their hand here, so that Rhino grip is actually kind of a good spot for that. At the time that I put this thing together, I was getting tack packs, and I thought they were kind of fun, you know, tactical pack, all this kind of stuff. If you watch Donut or Brandon Herrera, you have heard tack pack a whole bunch. So yeah, I got that in the tack pack. That was cool. Wanted to use it on something. Works very well for holding the rifle up all the time. Trigger on it is a mil-spec trigger, and then I did change out the trigger guard here to a BCM. I wanted something oversized. We live in Minnesota. We wear gloves. It gets cold. Sometimes I like the bigger trigger well. So BCM there. Does have a mag pull grip on it. I did change that out. From everything I can tell, this came with an A2 grip from the factory or from Palmetto State. And while I don't hate those, this mag pull one is just a nice fit. I like the ergonomics of it. So I did change that out. Going up to the trigger here, it is a mil-spec trigger. And you can see, you know, 2,500-ish rounds on it. It's mil-spec, so it's single stage. A little bit of creep. About your wall here. And then the break. So it's really, you know, it's everything you expect out of a mil-spec trigger. Probably 6-7 pounds would be my guess. But good tactile reset. A little bit of creep. Just, yeah, I mean, it's a couple millimeters of play before it breaks. So it's really not a bad trigger for a mil-spec. I should spend a little more time working with it, because I notice and you'll see it in the B-roll here, we're trying to run some Mozambiques, and I don't always pull it off well with a mil-spec trigger. So it's something I could maybe change or just run more of. Probably half my rifles have mil-specs in them. The rest have like Geisleys and things like that. I'm kind of a Geisley whore and some of that stuff. I like their G2S, which is a very budget 2-stage trigger. I like that. Yeah, moving back, does have an SBA 3 brace here. When it came from the factory, it had this stupid hatchet looking CAC brace, and I didn't mind it to start. It sucks because this is kind of the old rules or whatever. It's non-adjustable. You set the Allen screw in there and it doesn't move. So it's not a mil-spec buffer tube. It doesn't have the positions like the SBA 3 brace does. It's just set it and forget it. And it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but I much prefer the SBA 3 brace. So I really don't like this brace. I've just kind of kept it around because I got nothing else to put it on. But, you know, it's just kind of awkward and pokes you weird.
That's what she said.
My favorite story of it is we went to the range. The other half was like, hey, can I shoot it? And I was like, sure. So I put like 10 rounds in the mag. Right? No, I put 2 rounds in the mag to start. And she was like, I'll shoot more than that. So I'm like, okay, fine. I put like 10 rounds in there. She shot it twice and then put it down because the brace had pinched her bra and gave her a little bruise there. So we got rid of this shortly after, once Scott informed me that, hey, you can run an SBA 3 brace on it. So made that change, have not looked back. The buffer weight in here is still the factory one. I did change it to this Cutter Machine Works Warthog spring, which is a flat spring. And maybe I'm just not sophisticated enough to really notice a big difference between a flat spring and your standard buffer spring that's round. So if you have a particular spring that you like, if you prefer flat versus curved or whatever, put that in the comments down below. I want to know what you guys like for your buffer springs. Most of mine are probably mil-spec. I have this one, and then I've got a couple Geisley Super 42s that I have in some guns. So I've got a few different style of buffer springs, but this one has been very nice in here. This also came from Tac Pack, and they're like 20 bucks, so they're really not terribly expensive. I can't tell you if I really feel that this shoots differently. Maybe I should take the buffer out and change it to some other guns and just see what I think of it there, but it's been really good in here and I like it so far. So let me know in the comments, like I said, if you have a preferred spring, flat, curved, Geisley Super 42, whatever. If there's a brand you like, let me know why in the comments down below. Overall, it's been a fun little gun. I've enjoyed it for the 5 years I've owned this thing. It's been great. I have no complaints on it. I've never really had any failures with it. I keep it fairly well, lubed and cleaned as much as I do anything else. And it's been a very good, fun little setup. And it was a great way to get into the AR pistol world and start, trying to experiment and try some things out and that stuff. It's been really good. Shooting it is pleasant. 10.5 isn't the longest of things, but it's really not terrible for, recoil and all that stuff. I mean, it's shooting 55 grain 223 more than anything else, or 5.56. So not bad. It's fun. It's maneuverable. It's short. It is loud because it's short. So you don't really want to shoot it without hearing protection. It wouldn't be my first go-to for home defense in my overall collection. I have some other ones that I would go to before this thing, but it's been fun. I enjoy it. We shoot it at 100 yards consistently. It's accurate. It's good. Like, I have no real complaints on it. Having watched the Grantham video, I'm at 2,500 rounds through this thing, would be my guess. We shoot way more now that we have the YouTube channel, so this thing will get the rounds put on it more and faster, and we'll see what it's like once it gets to 4,000 to 5,000. And that's the thing that I always get a takeaway from like Grantham's videos, and when he talks about things, is that the shorter, and Asian Phil talked about this, the shorter the gas system, the more abusive it is on the rifle. So I'm really curious how this thing goes, handles it going forwards. Never been suppressed, so that will reduce some of the wear on it, but it'll be, Grantham's video is a 1 of 1, but it'll be really interesting to see how this compares as it gets further and further up, being a shorter rifle. But overall, I dig it. This thing's been great. I have no complaints about it. If you wanted the kit how it looks right now, without the optic and without the Rhino thing on there, it's like $470, I think, from PSA for the Magpul furniture and the SBA 3 brace. The one with the CAC brace and the oval handguard is still $300 to this day. Just regular price, not even being on sale. So it's a pretty reasonable price to get in on an AR pistol, depending on what options and accessories you want on it. I love how it is here, and like I said, this is kind of what started my addiction. And I think I put together 3 or 4 of these exact kits, the upgraded kit like this, for a couple of my uncles, some family friends, my dad at the time. That's a weird way to say that. My dad passed away, if you didn't know. So at the time, my dad wanted an AR pistol. We put together one just like this for him. So yeah, sweet kit. I like it. It's been great. I have no complaints about owning it. It's one of my favorites to shoot besides my Mark 12-ish clone that I have. Maybe you'll see that in a video someday. But yeah, overall, 2 thumbs up. I really like this kit from PSA. And, while the CAC brace sucks, you can definitely get away with running it. It's just SBA 3s are so cheap right now. It's worth having the adjustability and the flexibility. And the quick disconnect sling mounts are really nice versus this thing where it's just threading the sling through there. Not my favorite thing, but you could absolutely run it. So, as always, buy a gun, get some training, get good with it. We need that. And buy magazines when they're cheap as they are right now. We're in an election year. Buy. Clearly, they want to take that stuff away from us. So buy these as much as you can, as much as you can afford. Don't put yourself in debt for firearms if you can avoid it at all costs. It's not worth that. But buy a gun, get some training, go shoot with the boys, mag dump in the trash, have a great time. So that's it for me today. 10.5 PSA, awesome. I enjoy it so much. It's been a great gun, and I have no complaints on it so far. So thanks so much for watching. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.